Hey, welcome to Prayer and Practice. If you're watching this, I want you to know that you're not too broken for God to use. No matter what kind of things have happened in your life, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, you're never too broken for God to use. When I was young, I was injured and I became disabled from the neck down. Throughout much of my life, I struggled to believe that God could use somebody like me. However, over time, I've had so many people come up to me and say things like, because of you, I've regained my faith, or because of you, I'm having a better day. And it became apparent to me that regardless of my broken body, God can still use me to reach other people. And so, there's been many times that I've prayed for healing, but the healing didn't come. And I wondered, well, why hasn't God healed me, right? And much like what God said to Paul, my strength is made perfect in your weakness. And so if you've been feeling like you're too broken for God to use, I just want you to know that God doesn't need you to be whole in order for him to use you. Because when you're broken, those cracks are where the light shines through. When you're broken, that's how God is able to show his strength in your weakness. God says, my grace is enough. So I want to encourage you this day to not let your brokenness prevent you from doing what God has called you to do in it. When I was younger, I felt God calling me to become a minister, to become a pastor. But I turned it down. I went my own way, like Jonah, because I felt like, hey, if I were to become a pastor or something like that, who would take me seriously because I use a wheelchair? If I got up in front of a congregation, I used to think, they're not going to pay attention to my sermon, they're just going to pay attention to the chair. And I used to feel like maybe I'd have to lie, because how can I tell them that God has a good plan for them and wants to heal them when, he hasn't necessarily healed me? And so I didn't go this way, and I felt too broken for God to use. But over time, God used me in many other ways. And so I'm reaching out to you to let you know that your brokenness is not an obstacle for God. Your brokenness is actually not a liability, it's an asset. Because the thing is when we're broken, it actually allows us to reach places we won't be able to reach others. See, rather God heals you or doesn't heal you, your specific life circumstances allow you to either reach someone with the gospel or be reached with the gospel. If God heals you, it's because it will either help you be reached by the gospel or help you reach someone else with the gospel. If God doesn't heal you, it's because it will either help you be reached by the gospel or help someone else be reached by the gospel. God doesn't heal us for our sake. He heals us for his glory. And if he doesn't heal us, it's also for his glory. So don't be afraid that you're too broken for God to use, because nobody is too broken for God to use. The Bible's filled with broken people. Look at David. Look at Abraham. Look at Peter. Look at all these various people throughout Scripture that are what we would call broken. But God used them for his glory. Look at Joseph. Joseph said to his brothers, what you meant for my harm, God meant for my good. Right? So Joseph, after being betrayed and sold into slavery and lied about and put in jail, his brokenness did not leave him stranded. Right? God was with him the whole time. And God used that for his sake and for the sake of others. And if you will let God use your brokenness, you will reach far more people than if you had never experienced those things in the first place. So I hope this has given you encouragement. I hope this has helped you. If you've enjoyed this, like and subscribe. I hope to hear your stories in the comment section below about all the things that you've faced. And if you have a prayer request, just put it in the comments and I will be glad to pray for you. So anyway, God bless you and have a great day. Bye.